Hey, Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome to today's new moon readings and your moon month energy update. A moon month always begins with a new moon and follows through all of the moon phases till we get to the next new moon. It's a complete sort of natural cycle of energetic ebb and flow. Beautiful souls, if you are just here for the new moon readings and you just want to skip straight through to them, I've put in the description box below the timestamps so you can go straight to the cards to choose which of the piles is speaking to you and then go straight through to whichever reading or readings is speaking to you. So anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new. Thank you so much for being here. We have an amazing moon month ahead of us. The energy is really interesting. In a moment, I'm going to run through each of the moon phases and tell you about the incoming energy. Now, if you're new to me, I tend not to use astrological jargon. I do so deliberately. I know many of you are very knowledgeable, astrologically knowledgeable. But there are also people who are not. So I tend to speak just about the incoming flow of energy so you can really get a feel of what's coming. And this is an amazing moon month because we have a 12-12 portal coming up on the 12th of December. We also have 3i Atlas, who is getting closer and closer to the Earth and will be at the closest point on the 19th of December. And this is then followed by the Solstice, which is a really big turning point in the Earth's calendar. This month, in many ways, I think if we look at it as an overview, it's got a real flavour of cleansing, releasing, letting go, putting things down, removing blocks, so that we are literally free, I think, energetically, like being a hollow bone, free to receive the maximum incoming energy of transformation. There's a huge amount of, we've had solar flares that are unexpected going on as well. There's just a huge amount of, let's say, astrological but energetic stuff happening. And this has been, talked about for a long time in astrological circles. We knew that these few years that we're in right now are almost, potentially going to be the biggest of our lives. And that's pretty much everyone on the planet. It's quite exciting to think about, the little ones that are being born at this time and what they are actually embodying, within their charts. What's the energetic imprint that they are arriving? How are they going to be navigating the world? Because it's going to be a very different world. We are moving into a whole new age. And, this isn't the dress rehearsal. We're here now. Now, thank you all of you who have been purchasing and buying my diaries, the Manifest with the Moon Astro Moon Diaries for 2026. At the moment, we have 9 different versions, so we've got different global timings. When you buy a moon diary, very often they're at a standard time, and so where you are in the world may not be completely accurate. So I've worked with a software engineer so we can actually create diaries in different regions. Thank you to those of you who have been asking me for a South African version, because it's probably the one because it's written in English, that's my language. It's the one sort of zone in the world that we haven't covered. I'm going to see if we can try and get some. So just bear with me and keep an eye out. I'll post in the sort of the normal post rather than a video post. I'll put a note up there if I'm able to do this. So thank you those of you who've contacted me about South Africa. We're going to see if we can do that. So lots to share, actually. Also, I would just add one more thing as well to let you know. On the 29th of November, I'm going to be doing a live event. I'm going to be doing a big reading about the energy and the consciousness of 3i Atlas. We're really going to dive in and look at this. And if you're able to come to that live event, it's at 6 p.m. UK time. I'll put a post up about it. If you're able to come, bring your own cards, because I'd like us to do a collective read. I'm going to do a reading in general terms to inquire and discover and ask about the energy, the incoming energy, the consciousness of 3i Atlas and the purpose of this and how this may be affecting us perhaps collectively and globally. But I will give you guidance as well, but I would like you to bring your own cards and to also be reading, and as I said, I will guide you through this, to draw cards to look at how this energy will be potentially influencing you personally. So make a note of that in your diaries, and I really look forward to seeing some of you then. I will post the recording as well afterwards. It'll be available. But, if you're able to come, it would be amazing that, we will be reading cards together. So that's up and coming in this moon month. I think I'm now going to move through. Let's look at collectively now. Let's have a look at the incoming energy, the different moon phases as we navigate this moon month. We'll have a look at the incoming energy, the ebb and flow. There's some, spiky bits, but there's also some flowing bits. So just to give you an overview, the more knowledge we have of the incoming energy, the more we can navigate alongside it. We can really, it's not even navigate alongside, it's the more we can align, our own, our own frequency, our own schedules, our own mindset, actually, more than anything, I think, is the way to sort of, I think of this. Because if the energy is a bit tetchy or it's a little bit spiky and you know it, the fact that you are aware of it means you don't react to it. It means you kind of think, yeah, I knew this was coming. I knew this was happening today. And so it's a different reference point. You remain grounded. And when it's flowing and pushing forwards, you can kind of jump on board and really work with that. So let's move on to the moon phases throughout this moon month and have a look at the incoming energy. So, as I mentioned a moment ago, a moon month runs from a new moon through to the next new moon. And this new moon runs from, it's partly in November, partly in December, this moon month. Now, this first part of the document is what I send out to you, just these first few pages if you're on my email list. Now, I send out the key dates, which have got everything that's happening astrologically. Interestingly, in this moon month, we only have one void of course moon of any real significance. This is around 9 hours long, and this is between the 1st and 2nd of December when the moon moves from Aries into Taurus. Now, the reason I pick up on the void of course moons is that it's a time when the lunar energy is kind of free of connection to other planetary alignments, and sometimes also moving literally from one sign to another, so free of those really direct energies. And this can feel really, really liberating and really exciting, but if you have a lot happening in your world, it can feel a bit out at sea. So I always do highlight any particularly long ones. This month we have just one. It's 9 hours long. Now, these are the different moon phases we're going to look at. You can see that we start with a new moon, and we then have the waxing crescent, the first quarter, the waxing gibbous, then the full moon, then the waning gibbous, the last quarter or the third quarter, and the waning crescent. And then we start with another new moon. So these are the phases that we're looking at. Each of these moon phases has a very different kind of flavour and almost like a different speed to the energy, a different personality to the lunar energy. So it's really valuable to understand these. I am going to be doing actually some training videos actually around these, a webinar, and also showing you how to use a moon diary. So watch out for these. I'll put a notice up. If you're wanting to make sure you get that, do subscribe, press the little bell icon. Hopefully everything I post will then come into your stream. So let's begin with the new moon. So November the 19th or 20th, depending on where you are in the world, and this moon is in Scorpio. This is when the sun and the moon sit together. It's like a sacred marriage in a way of the masculine, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Now, the astrodynamics of this new moon actually do hold a really lovely theme of positivity, and they offer massive potential for what I would call reconstruction, while simultaneously acknowledging anything and everything that doesn't work for us anymore. Now, there is so much retrograde energy present at this moment in time, and we have that energetic of the deep, meaningful essence of Scorpio. Scorpio is a very, very deep, brings a very deep energy to this moon. So don't be surprised if you find yourself revisiting the past. However, and this might be at quite a deep level, it might be internally reviewing the past. However, given the powerfully positive flow of energy that's around for us, and it's really primed for growth and rebirth and expansion and evolution, do you know, whatever shows up for you at this time, I think the energetics will potentially help you to move through and beyond anything that shows up. It's really transformational. So there's very real, new and amazing possibilities. If something shows up, then you should be able to sort of work through it really quickly. Let it go. You know how sometimes we struggle to let things go? I think letting go would be quite easy. If you notice something, you identify it, sort of say goodbye to it. I think the energy supports you to release it in a really good way, because this is a time of new beginnings. Every new moon marks a monthly power point of new beginnings. So we can use this energy. With the new moon, we always set wishes and intentions, or I certainly do anyway. And these wishes and intentions are about bringing focus to what we wish to manifest, what we desire. Those are our wishes. They come from the heart. And then our intentions are what we plan to commit to do to move them forwards, to be actively co-creating with the universe. So I'm just going to bring you up the timings. Now, the timings are valuable to know, depending on where you are on our beautiful planet. If you are investing in the Manifest with the Moon 2026 diary, we have 9 different locations, 9 different time zones currently with the diary available. I will attempt to do even more potentially next year, and possibly even get all of these timings onto a website so that you can sort of log in on your phone. I mean, you know, work in progress. These things take time and to be fair, cost quite a lot of money as well. So, you know, it's sort of one step at a time. But we have actually, I've been working with a software engineer, managed to create 9 different time zone diaries this year with absolutely accurate timings for those time zones. So hopefully you can get one that's near you. I think we are the first Southern Hemisphere moon diary with accurate timings for the Southern Hemisphere. We've got 2 in Australia and 1 in New Zealand. Now, the reason we have the reason the timings are valuable for us is, particularly with the new moon, is because the very best time to harness the energy to set your wishes and intentions is literally from that, what I would call the point of conception. Because when the sun and the moon come together, this is a union, like a sacred marriage of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So it's a point of conception, and we can use this energy every single moon month to align with it and set our intentions. So from that point of union, and for the 8 hours afterwards, that's when the energy is at its strongest. So what we're putting out into the universe in terms of our wishes and intentions is kind of, it's like we're sowing seeds in really fertile ground. So that's why we look at the timings, and it's really valuable to try and set your wishes and intentions within those 8 hours. Now, the next moon phase is the waxing crescent moon. Now this runs from November the 21st to the 27th. The moon will pass through Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and then into Pisces. Now, overall, the energy of this moon phase and the energetics are, again, primed for positive results, primed for expansion. And with quite an emphasis on the personal, actually, at this point in time for this particular moon phase, rather than the global. So you may find yourself reflecting and looking inwards, or needing to deal with things that are very relevant to you in the immediacy of your world. Now, there is always a relationship, of course, between the two, external events and internal events, you know, our own personal lives and world events. And world events are still going to be reflecting this overall calling for restructure. So in world events, we're going to see things that aren't working, and, you know, potentially with an invitation to think about what we do about them. This moon time does suggest a need, though, for personal expression, acknowledging freedom of expression, and with dynamics that suggest that any conflicts in these areas could potentially be understood and therefore overcome relatively easily, which is really, really lovely, because, you know, we all end up with these kinds of internal conflicts sometimes, and that energy is primed to assist us to move through and beyond. So details could be ironed out rather than actively blocked, and if there is an underlying willingness, you know, present within the collective, this is really, really going to help global events as well. I do feel we're seeing an overall underlying energy that says, let's embrace the new. People beginning to feel excited about possibility rather than just worn down by things that aren't working. So we may see some global events that kind of give us those, if you're worried about things, you might see some things happening that, maybe reignite your hope, for example, or make you feel more positive about what may be possible. When I wrote this, I was really curious, actually, as I was looking at the energy to see how this might pan out for us each, both personally but also globally. We then move to the first quarter moon position. This is on November the 28th in Pisces. Now, this first quarter moon coincides with a major planetary reset, and it brings a really distinct flavour of kind of karmic destiny. So if anything in your world suddenly comes to a standstill, or something suddenly calls for your attention, or you find yourself drawn to do something completely different, or you suddenly change your perspective about something, or you feel completely differently, and this could be a situation, a relationship, even your relationship with yourself. If you experience any of these things, then you are very much in alignment with the dynamics of the day. This is exactly the kind of stuff I've seen in my practice, my psychotherapy practice, really seeing the way that people actually do shift and change with the realignment of the energy, even if they're not conscious of it. It's fascinating. Now, the energy today does signify a point of major evaluation, and the first quarter moon is always about evaluation anyway. And it suggests that circumstances may well arrive unexpectedly as well that could initiate this. So if something happens and you need to reflect, then reflect on it, think about it. And there is a sort of a slightly impulsive undertone as well this day. And it could bring the urge and the desire to progress and to expand, to take some form of action. And that's great. Absolutely marvellous. But it's better if your actions are taken because you have chosen to reflect on what arrived and you act mindfully rather than being reactive. So I hope that makes sense. I think there's a slight energy of this running through this moon month. But this is quite a significant day actually. So remember this, put it in your calendar, maybe November the 28th. And I would also say, when I do the timestamps, I put the timestamps below. I will put the readings, the cards. I also put each of the dates alongside the timestamps for these different moon phases. So if you have a moment during the month when you have a wobble or something happens and you think, oh, I think I heard something about that in the moon energy update, then come back, find the date that you're on and check out the energy update, and because it's really, really helpful sometimes just to have a mirror and think, right, yes, okay, this is what's going on, I'm in alignment with this, my world is in alignment. It might feel a bit unexpected, but everything is as it should be, and it's all going to continue to move and expand as it should. It's actually very reassuring when we follow the moon. I always think knowledge is power. It really, really is. The moon then reaches her waxing gibbous moon phase from November the 28th to December the 3rd, and she will pass through Pisces, Aries and Taurus. Now, during this moon phase, the collaborations that support that urge and desire to take action do gather momentum. And these are also going to be inviting new ways of saying, being and doing, and relating as well, with an overall emphasis on the personal. So it's kind of like, it's all about self-mastery. What can we each do as individuals with full awareness of our own free will and our own conscious choice, so that we are acting with self-responsibility and actively choosing to invest in creating what we wish to see in the world. This is a very powerful energetic at this time. Now, although there is an overall flow of positivity, there's also a sharpness in the energetics. That's the best way I can describe it. And it kind of intensifies just before the full moon. And this often does happen. We often see a build-up, particularly emotionally, just before the full moon. Many, many people experience this. And this could potentially bring circumstances that feel quite abrupt. There is a definite sharpness, like a suddenness or a jarring. So if events happen that leave you feeling, I don't know, a little bit frustrated or a bit tetchy, or something's happened that's unexpected or it grates with you, just do your best to hold fire. You know, sit with this and then see what the full moon illuminates for you, okay? Now, this also coincides, this moon time, with the void of course moon that I spoke of, that's about 9 hours long. This is between December the 1st and December the 2nd, and this is when the moon moves from Aries into Taurus. Because we have this sense of sharpness, I mean, it seems to be more present just before the full moon, but nevertheless, just be conscious of this, because if events happen during the void of course moon, it really can sort of, you know, not exactly knock us, but it's a bit like somebody pulls the rug out from under your feet, or somebody suddenly slams the brakes on when you thought you were in forward motion. It's just like somehow there's a difference in the energy that could be quite sharp or quite fast. And if that happens in a void of course moon time, you might feel a little more unanchored by it than you would usually. So be just very conscious of these dates. When we then get to the super full moon, this is on December the 4th or 5th in Gemini. Now, a super moon basically means the moon in her, it's basically she's very close to the Earth. She's much closer to us. When she navigates around the Earth, she is our satellite. Sometimes she's closer to the Earth, sometimes she's further away. The closer she is, the more powerful the magnetic pull. So the more powerful the energy, we're going to really, really potentially feel it. Now, this super full moon actually has a really interesting flavour of, I would almost say, wildness and freedom. So if you find yourself having itchy feet, or you'd really like something to change, but you don't know quite how to do it or how to make it happen or what the next step would be, then rather than trying to push forwards with something, or if you're not quite sure what to do, just get really still and meditate and see what the moon illuminates for you. The influence of Gemini is going to help you to see all of your options and literally see things from every angle. And because this is a super moon, the energy is really, really powerful. So today, the energy also supports expansion. We've got this lovely flavour of expansion, and the moon is getting bigger and bigger, and it's a super moon. So we could see real opportunities to actually practically and pragmatically move something forwards, to do something. But I think we kind of need to get still first to actually see what it is that we need to do. So it may be that today isn't the day to take practical action. It's more to get still, to meditate, to see what you're shown, and then you'll kind of know what those steps will be. Either way, the timing is honestly perfect today to guide you to see exactly what you need to see in order to move your world forwards, but in real terms. So it's a magical day, and I think for myself, I'm going to spend as much of it in meditation as I can, because I think the downloads that we can receive, particularly in this build-up to the 12/12 portal, with the solstice coming up. I mean, we've just got, as I said at the beginning in the energy update, my sort of overview at the beginning, this is a profoundly powerful time. So this is a profoundly powerful moon to show us what we need to see in order to move things forwards, and also to know how to align our own personal energy so that we really are moving into these higher realms of consciousness, and our actions can then follow. Let me bring the timings up for you. Now, the reason it's valuable to know the full moon timings, I know I spoke a bit about the new moon timings and why that's so helpful. With the full moon timings, if there's anything you need to let go of, and this is being illuminated for you, the point of the full moon is like a release point. It's like we get this big build up. There's a lot of emotion often around the full moon, huge energy build up. At the point of the full moon, it's almost the point when we can sort of breathe out. It's also sometimes the point when, if you're sitting in meditation, hoping to sort of see something, hoping that something will be illuminated, it's often at that point that you get the vision, or something's shown to you, or something happens that is actually, it's actually a communication from the universe. You're being shown some piece of information that is going to assist you. So very helpful to be conscious of this exact timing. We then move into the disseminating or waning gibbous moon phase, and this is running from December the 6th to the 10th, and the moon will pass through Gemini, or from Gemini into Cancer, through Leo, and then into Virgo. Now, this moon phase begins with a surge of energy that might be a bit impulsive. So if you're wanting to push through with something, I think this could give you just the energy you need to keep going. So, and or indeed to get going if you need to. But if you need to take your time to approach something a bit more slowly, then this may feel a little bit at odds with you. So this is something to be very aware of. If you think about being shown something at the full moon, if that was a very real step that you can take right now, then this is fantastic. The energy will help you to move this forwards. But if you still need to ponder something and consider your choices and the best course of action, you just may feel like the energy is pushing you before you're ready. Now, this influence is actually relatively fleeting, so use it to your best advantage. Be aware of it and don't react to it if you don't need it. And if you do, jump on board. Now, the overall flow then feels fairly smooth for a couple of days, but midway through this moon time, the energy then shifts significantly, and the planetary alignments do suggest a degree of what I would call potential volatility, and indeed maybe even frustration. Now, given this intensity, if you are facing any challenges or difficulties, try to step back and come back to it later. The last quarter energy is going to be settling down. So very, very interesting sort of flow of energy during this time. We've got this spike of intensity, then it actually eases off. You can take a bit of a breather, but suddenly it then intensifies again, and it could be really quite tetchy. So be conscious of this sort of, it's an ebb and flow really. You know, sometimes this moon time is generally steady and consistent, but it isn't in this instance because of the overall astrodynamics. So be very conscious of this as you navigate. The moon then reaches her last quarter moon position on December the 11th in Virgo. Now, a last quarter moon naturally invites evaluation. This is what the energy is all about, and with an emphasis on personal responsibility and awareness of your own conscious free will and choice. This is very much an energy with every moon, every last quarter moon, always. It's really an evaluation point. Are we walking our talk? Are we being what we want to create in the world? The overall energetics today do suggest quite a well-balanced mix of energy, with both the masculine and feminine aligning to create a space of more centered energy, which is lovely. And this may well provide a really valuable anchor point, especially given the intensity of the last moon phase, where we just saw some really, really big sort of ebbing and flowing of significantly strong dynamics. The overall lunar connections today also suggest that synchronicities may be particularly present. You can see why in the last moon phase I was saying, hold fire if you're not sure about something. Try not to react. Wait until you get to this day, because the energy this day is primed to assist you. You could get synchronicities, signs, synchronicities, signals. So be very, very open and allow the energy to guide your thinking and your personal process of review. The overall energy today really does present a wonderful opportunity for you to realign and reground yourself and realistically assess what you need to do to move forwards and to move your manifestations forwards. What do you need to do next? Virgo brings a lovely energy. The last quarter moon is fantastic for evaluation, and Virgo will help you to really to see the details, to see what you need to do in quite a practical way. How do you cross the T's, dot the I's? What do you need to do to be able to move your manifestations forwards. This is a super lovely day. It really, really is, especially given the overall dynamics of expansion. And remember, this is the day before the 12-12 portal. So it's a really, really valuable day to make time to just get still. And I mean, I'd be looking at your vision board if you work with vision boards. There's so much you can do to use this energy in a really, really fabulous way. The moon then moves into the last moon phase of this moon month before we get to the next new moon. This is the balsamic moon or waning crescent moon phase. This is from December the 12th, so the 12-12 portal, through to the 19th, which is when 3i Atlas is closest to the Earth. She's going to pass through Virgo, Libra, Scorpio and Sagittarius. Now, the overall dynamics of this moon phase are a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. Although there is a positive flow of energy throughout, and this supports restructure and humanity's entry point into a new age, other energetics also make some really discordant connections. There's a lot of volatile energy as well, suggesting potential differences and maybe even some confusion as to how to keep the flow of transformation on track. Now, this isn't necessarily negative, even though it might feel like a bit of a roller coaster. I think it's really important to remember it is never the energy itself, but what we do with it that matters. So let's just focus on that for a moment. This is a moon month that really emphasizes the potential that we have if we act and live consciously, if we are aware of the energy, if we are mindful, if we reflect, if we think about how we respond to things, rather than feel as though we are being buffeted about by the energy and we are reacting to it. You know, if we're buffeted about and reacting, it's like we're always on the back foot. Whereas if we are aware of the energy and we engage with it and we flow with it, which means sometimes we slow down and we observe, and other times we choose to take action, all the while trusting that the way will be shown, which our beautiful moon does wonderfully for us. I always feel Grandmother Moon is, my greatest guide and teacher in many ways, or one of my many guides and teachers. So this moon time is really interesting because there is some intensity in it and it could be discordant. So don't be surprised if events arise that seem to come out of nowhere. Like the world throws you a curveball. Whatever shows up at this time, it needs to be addressed to clear the way for a new and more balanced humanity to emerge. And this is personally as well as on the global stage. So do not be surprised if events just show up. I just think we could see some real changeable energy. Bear in mind, here we are at the 12-12 portal, where things may be initiated, almost aligned by the universe for us, moving through to the point where 3i Atlas is getting closer and closer to the Earth, and the 19th is that closest point. So we're getting that full sort of energetic imprint of that energy coming in quite an intense way, with a lot of other dynamics that also are primed to highlight things that maybe aren't working as well as they need to. The purpose is to show us what needs to change. So really hold that energy, hold that higher vision. When in doubt, drop into stillness and just navigate from awareness. This whole moon month really is about self-mastery with full awareness of your own capacity for conscious free will and choice, and indeed also awareness of your emotions. I mean, I've been working with emotions for years. I wrote a book about emotions, how to understand your difficult emotions as a source of empowerment. I will put a link to that book in the description below. To be honest, if you check out my author page on Amazon, you'll find these sort of books there, along with the diaries for all the different locations. So, beautiful souls, you can see why I think this is such an interesting moon month. We then arrive at effectively the end of this moon month and the beginning of the next, and this is started with the new moon on the 19th or 20th. Again, that key date 19th, depending on where you are in the world. The timings are adjustable depending on where you are, hence all of the different diaries and the different locations. And this moon is in Sagittarius, and I will of course ahead of time be doing a moon month energy update for you. So, beautiful souls, I hope you have enjoyed this energy update. I really hope it's valuable to you. Thank you, all of you who have been buying the diaries. I really hope that having that information at your fingertips is going to be of great value as we navigate what looks to be another epic year of transformation. Very different. 2026 is very different to 2025. It's still absolutely huge. But it's really about culmination. You know, we are in this upgrade and there's so much consolidation, culmination with some really key points during the year. So for all of you who are using the diaries and tune in with these moon month energy updates, you know, thank you so much for being here. It's such a privilege to be connected with all of you. It is now time, I think, to move through to the cards and the readings. And in the readings, I'm going to be asking about this particular moon month for you. What is it that you need to know that's going to be most valuable for you in terms of harnessing this profound moon month of expansion? So, beautiful souls, let's move to the cards. Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome to the point in this video where we look at the cards for each of the readings. I'm going to draw some tokens as well. These are the cards that are here to guide you into the right reading. And today, in these new moon readings, I'm going to be asking for key pieces of information that you need to know to help you to harness the energy of expansion that is available during this coming moon month. Now, let me show you the cards first. Welcome, everybody. Welcome if you've been listening to the energy update. I hope you really enjoyed it. Welcome if you are just jumping to this part of the video. If you're just here for the readings, pile 1, you have the card of Mandrake. This is for pile 1. Pile 2, you have the card of Dandelion. This is for pile 2. And pile 3, you have psilocybin. This is for pile 3. Okay. Let's draw some tokens as well for each pile. Okay. For pile 1, you have a tick. It's like you've ticked a box, or a box gets ticked for you. Okay. That's interesting. For pile 2, you have, okay, this looks like a sort of a fan type symbol, or I'm going to need to check that out and see what it is about. I'll do that for you in just a moment in case you want to know more about it before we move into the readings. But let me draw for pile 3 as well. It's not a symbol that I recognise. And then we have the symbol for pile 8 is a little figure holding up a weight. Very triumphantly, I would add. So that is for pile 3. Let me get the book and we'll just check out what this is meaning for you. Okay, this is actually a toxic hazard symbol. Okay. Really interesting. Dandelion with a toxic hazard symbol. We'll find out what this is about in just a moment. So we have pile 1, pile 2 and pile 3 with the cards and the tokens. Beautiful souls, I am going to leave the video for running for just a little bit longer so you can really focus in on any of the cards, the piles that you want. And I will see you in the readings in just a moment. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So, how can you really harness the energy of expansion in this moon month? What are the keys, the key areas, the key things, the keys that you need to know about? You have Mandrake. This is a card of sensuality. I'm ever so fascinated by this tick box. I don't know whether you need to go out and tick some boxes, try some things out, or whether something comes along and a box is ticked for you. I am unbelievably excited and intrigued, if I'm truly honest, about your reading. We then have lizard energy. Well, lizard energy, this a salamander. Salamander and black pepper. Inspiration. That's exciting. What else do we have for my pile ones? The last quarter moon, tie up loose ends. Feel like there's more than one, yep, from this pack. And benefics, let the blessings unfold. This is exciting. It's exciting and it's incredibly interesting. Right, let's draw a moon card as well and see what we are shown. May we kindly ask, how can pile one harness the blessings of this moon month, this energy? Surrender to the divine full moon. Wow, this is very, very, very interesting. Okay. I feel something is coming in to tick a box for you, actually, or at least to lead you into a position where you can tick a box. Now, if we just think about the energy of this moon month, we know that things are coming forward to help you to expand. I think this is personal expansion in terms of intimacy, sensuality, your own experience of yourself, your availability to experience. Let's call it the higher vibrational energy that's coming in, but in a very real 3D kind of way. For some of you, this could literally be about intimacy. If you've ever had inhibitions or been left not feeling good about yourself in any way, shape or form, I feel that these loose ends are going to be tied up and the blessings unfold. I'm going to draw tarot cards before I say any more, but wow, I guess I kind of would like to know where I'm going in my mind, what I think what's being communicated here. I'd like to know if that is correct. Let's find out. Let's draw your tarot cards and see what else we're shown in terms of specifics. Okay, so you have the Nine of Voices. This is the Nine of Swords. You have the Magician. Gosh, there's magic. Chemistry is what I want to say. You have the Fool. Wow. You have the Hierophant. Gosh, these are huge cards. Nothing small for you in the next, and the Chariot, nothing small for you then, pile one. Well, we knew the energy was going to be wild, and I think for you, it is seriously going to be wild. You have the Ace of Emotions. This is the Ace of Cups. You have the Seven of Inspiration. How interesting. The Salamander and Black Pepper is the card of inspiration. This is the Seven of Wands. Gosh, look at you pushing out of the box. Wow. And then we have the Tower. I'm blown away by your reading, pile one. I am absolutely blown away by this. This is literally mind-blowing. I knew this could be a mind-blowing month. I mean, wow. It really, really, that's present. But my goodness me, this is seriously mind-blowing. Right, let's just get centered and see how much we can draw out from this reading for you. Let's get really specific about the keys that are being shown to you, or indeed with you, I think the keys that are being gifted to you. Literally, I think these are like keys to push yourself out of a box, push yourself out of limiting experiences or things that have been left with you, that left you feeling not so good about yourself in some way. This is a absolute transformation. And look at the energy, thinking about, 3-eye atlas. And I'm just very struck. I've been talking in the energy update about the incoming consciousness. And here we have this sort of almost rock and these lines of lightning coming from this rock. I mean, wow, this feels for me, I hadn't really thought about that. I chose my cards thoughtfully, as I always do. But wow, I hadn't focused on that in any way, shape or form. But look at this. I think there's a real breakthrough for you. It's more of a breaking out. Breaking out of some sort of restrictions, some sort of, with the Hierophant, I'm going to say tradition as well. If you were brought up in a world with a lot of shoulds and shouldn'ts, do's and don'ts, I think you might just do something that would have been almost radically disapproved of when you were growing up, but is actually completely okay. No, I don't mean anything really negative, far from it. It's actually about stepping away from a restriction, stepping away from something that you used to feel you either couldn't have or shouldn't have, or that there's something here that takes you out of your own box. You can expand. Surrender to the divine. There is something monumentally delicious about this expansion. I will say for some of you, I think this could well connect to, I guess, some element potentially of relationship. But it could simply be your relationship with yourself. If any of you are struggling with any element of ownership, of your sensuality, your sexuality, this is like you come out. You break out of the box of limitation. If any of you have not felt comfortable in your own body, you come out of that. You move beyond it. The question is, what arrives to create this? Is it just the energy? I mean, does someone come in to inspire you? Is that what comes in? Someone comes in to inspire you, or are you inspired by something? Almost like to get out of your head and move beyond something? Is it just the download that, I don't know, that ties up loose ends and removes something from the very essence of your I want to say of your psyche, but maybe not even just your psyche, almost like at a level of DNA, is something removed and transformed so that you can launch into this new delicious, and it is delicious, beginning. We might want to draw some more cards to kind of get a little bit more information about how. I mean, it could just be that this is what the energy does. The energy literally comes out of the sky and down into you and changes you at a cellular level. This is part of your personal upgrade. This may actually be part of what is happening with the consciousness that I think is coming in with 3-eye atlas. And through the portals that are coming in this moon month and this big shift at the solstice, it may just be that this is what is taking place for you. You break free. You push out of a box that confined you. It does have a very 3D sensuality, sexuality, energy about it. Do you know, my beautiful souls? I have just seen, that's the second, since I started doing these readings, when I was drawing the cards, I saw a beautiful orb just across the way at the other side of my room, just in front of a window. Just seen another one. That's the second one that I have seen. And that's interesting. Now I'm working in a new space and gradually getting it laid out, new desk as well now to do the readings on, but gradually getting things sorted out and anchored and trying to get the lighting right and all these things. But do you know, this is the first day I've seen orbs in here. When I work at home, there are just loads of them. But yeah, that's the first time. Isn't it interesting that somehow, and your reading is definitely activating something of that energy. It's interesting that the salamander and black pepper, it is a card that speaks of like a mix of fire and earth. I think something might come in that really literally fires you up. Chemistry. I do think possibly for some of you, this is going to be some kind of relationship reading, someone coming in that fires you up, and you override the limitations that you might, things that you might previously have let hold you back. Let's just see, how does this come in? What is this point of inspiration? What is it that fires you up? What is it that takes you to a space where you break free of a restriction? You soar, you rise, look at the imagery in these cards. Rising, pushing out, receiving. Wow, like lightning. It could be quite sudden. Let's first ask, what is it that arrives? I mean, it could just be the energy that's arriving, but what is it? Is it someone that arrives? Could we kindly ask for my pile one? We have the Lovers. Well, okay. I think this is, wow, thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you so much, Source. We couldn't have a clearer indication. I think this is someone coming into your world, pile one. Now, they inspire you. Whether they inspire you to just be you, or whether this is actually a genuinely intimate connection for you, where you override something, or it's someone you meet who makes you feel really good about yourself, or it could be love, a love connection, but it could be someone who makes you feel good about yourself. But however we see it, this is absolutely, I think, a confirmation that this is a connection with someone. Someone is coming in, I think, in the 3D world who fires you up. It could be someone who literally does leave you feeling inspired. You literally feel inspired, fired up. But I think you feel good about yourself. You feel fired up, and you are willing to break out of a mold here because they fire you up and inspire you to do so. 9 of emotions. Wow. This is the 9 of Cups in a traditional pack. You are going to feel so good. Something is coming in. Someone is coming in during this moon month. This is part of your expansion. It's part of your personal tower evolution moment. And actually, you are going to feel emotionally so good about yourself. You're going to feel absolutely inspired, amazed, passionate, just the chemistry, the excitement. Wowza. Surrender to it. Dive in. Just dive in. I don't think you won't. I almost feel like the energy with the tower energy, the energy will create an opportunity where it's almost like there's no other option but to dive in. It's just, I mean, I think you would want to, but I do. I feel like there's no saying no to this. Absolutely no saying no to it at all. You have the Sun. Wow, talk about chemistry, passion, and being fired up. And you have the card of Strength. In this reading, what I see here is you rising, coming into your own, going from strength to strength. I mean, wow. This is one of those energetic shifts, which is actually the physical embodiment, literally in your physical body. This is the physical embodiment of the shift. And I think it's to do with sensuality, sexuality, how you feel about yourself, the deliciousness of you. It could be the deliciousness of your your personal ability to be present and in the moment to everything that is genuine and real in your experience. But it's created, I think, genuinely by someone. Someone comes into your world in this moon month and makes you feel so good about yourself. They really, really do. I am loving it. Now, whether this is an existing relationship that kind of upgrades and moves into a whole new chapter, whether it's someone who comes in who just makes you feel good about being you, but very much in there's something about the physicality, the sensuality, and therefore it will connect to your self-esteem, your self-value, but very much about your self-value and your appearance, how you appear, what you allow yourself to receive, whether you feel you can open the doors and let people in. But this is what I'm seeing here. This is a real dive in and you own it, you embrace it. I don't think you can do otherwise, because I think this is what's being shifted in you. The energy that's being brought in, tying up loose ends. Yeah, it could be somebody brand new, but the tying up loose ends this would almost be like if you know that you know your own sexuality, you know that you're amazing, you know that you're gorgeous, you know that you deserve to be loved because you are you, and yet somehow it's never quite happened, or you kind of know it in a conceptual way, but you haven't yet been able to embody it. And this is the embodiment of it. This is your reading. I mean, it's really blowing me away. No wonder it ticks the box. It really, really does. Wow. Pile 1, this is your reading. Beautiful souls, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, all the things you do. Thank you so much, all of you who are buying the Moon Diaries and indeed the workbook. If you are watching this as I upload it, I will be setting up a webinar so that you can learn how to manifest with the moon, how to really, really understand how the moon cycles work, and therefore, how to use these diaries as a tool, and indeed the workbook as well. I'll be sharing that at some point soon. And if you're watching this a little bit later on in the month, it may well even be live. Just check out the homepage if you want to find out anything that's happening, because I'll make an announcement when that goes live for you as well. Beautiful souls, thank you so much for being here. You are seriously amazing, and this is wow. This is the embodiment of the physical embodiment of the upgrade. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, I am so blown away. I might have to go and anchor myself before I do reading 2. Pile 1, tons of love. Pile 2, welcome to your reading. You have Dandelion, which is the card of the Wounded Healer, and astrologically this card connects to Chiron, the Wounded Healer, and it also connects to Jupiter, which is the energy of expansion, and that's what this moon month is all about, and you'll know that if you have just listened to that energy update. Now, you also have this toxic symbol here, which I had to look up. Very, very interesting. I wonder if something is to be healed, some sort of toxicity that you have been struggling with, something that has been a real difficulty for you. Let's draw more cards and find out, what are the key things that you need to know about? How do you harness this energy, or indeed, how is the energy coming in to support you during this moon month? We have the Duck and Chrysanthemum. This is luck, the card of luck, which is pretty awesome, actually. Okay, so luck is on your side, I'm hearing. Luck is on your side. You have Descendant. 2 is better than 1. Okay. Gosh, I wonder if there will be some sort of reaching out. Conjunction. Stop, collaborate, and listen. I wonder if there will be a conjunction or a coming together with someone who is actually going to help you. This is really interesting. Somebody who will help you heal. or help a healing process, or help with something that is in your life that is toxic or has been a bit of an endurance test. Let's see what else we're shown here. We have for you, take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. Let me just bring these down. I think they're not quite in camera for you. Okay, take time to breathe out. The disseminating moon is an interesting energy because it's a quieter time. When the moon is disseminating, it's like we've reached a peak. So the disseminating moon is the moon phase that comes after the full moon. And it means that the moon is beginning to quieten down. If you think the build up to the full moon is very emotional, it's very intense, it's very full on. This is the point when you can kind of breathe again. I think I actually said that in the energy update. When you recognize, it's really valuable to know the exact timing of the full moon, the point of the full moon, because the moment the full moon sort of breaks, it's like you can breathe again. Take time to breathe out. I think there's a window here. It may even come at the time of the disseminating moon. You might find that the energy of this moon phase, that things do build up, that things are shown to you, that there are things that you need to release, to cleanse, to let go of, to heal. Something in your world that is feeling like the toxicity is lingering, or indeed there is just something in your world that is feeling very toxic. And I'm sorry if that is the case, but whether it's the residue of something or there's something going on, I think there will be literally a doorway, a turning point. If you've had a discord with someone, there may be a turning point when you come together. You can shake hands, you can come back together, you can breathe again, you can relax. This is very interesting that there is good luck. Let's draw your tarot cards before I say too much more. We have the Fool. Yeah, there's a new beginning coming here for you, my beautiful souls. I'm so thrilled. I mean, this is the energy of expansion. Something is moving beyond something that was toxic or had hurt you, or if you have been struggling with an illness, any kind of mental health kind of issues, anything that have been like a wounding or a hurting or a not okayness, or I think something is to transform. And this is what the energy is bringing you. So how do you harness this energy? Maybe you need to know about the timings of this. A new beginning is coming. We have the Seven of Inspiration. Both of these cards came out in pile one. If you were drawn to pile one, there may be a message for you there. So did that. How interesting. And I put the cards back in all sorts of different places. I never put them in the same places in a pack. And then I shuffle really well before I move to the next reading. You then have the Eight of Materials, which is the Eight of Pentacles. Many blessings are going to come from a situation or a circumstance that has been toxic or difficult, or a falling out, or something that really it held you back, and really got to you. But many, many blessings are coming from this. Many blessings. This is the beginning of the release of something that means that you can literally embrace life again, almost, perhaps for some of you. Queen of Inspiration. This is the Queen of Cups. We have the Four of Inspiration, not the Queen of Cups, my apologies, Queen of Wands. And the Four of Inspiration is the Queen of the Four of Wands, which is a card of celebration. There's a coming back together. Coming together. If you have had a family, the Magician, if you've come from a family where there is toxicity, or there's been problems, friendships, relationships generally, connections with people, a situation, a circumstance, whatever it is, there's been some form of wounding, and I think it gets healed. Something's transformed. And many, many blessings come from this. You then have the Page of Inspiration, the Page of Wands. I think with this moon month, gosh, there's a whole new life. You've got a cat here, 9 lives. Something is utterly transformed. Absolutely. This is the transformation of something that has been of a wound, or an argument, or a discord, or a separation, or something that's really given you a hard time in your mind. I almost feel like this is something you actually, for some of you, you actually never thought you'd be free of this. I thought you never thought you would be truly, truly free of it. Like it would linger, cling, bother you forever. That's the energy of Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron inadvertently was pricked by a poison arrow, and it meant that he could heal others, but he could never heal himself. He was going to be in pain forever. And then he rose and became he rose into the heavens and became like a star, constellation, a star, not a constellation. I think it is like a star, almost like a little comet. He's the rainbow bridge of healing. This is the real key, the key information for you to harness the energy of this month is to open yourself to be able to heal. Someone, I think, may reach out to you. If somebody offers you an apology, irrespective of whether you choose to move on with something, I think it's really important to accept that apology and own the forgiveness, the energy and the essence of forgiveness. Maybe somebody even gives you a key to something, a piece of information comes forward that frees you from something that's really held you back. It's been lingering, it's been clinging, it's been giving you heartache and headache. Many blessings are coming from this one opening. But something is absolutely transformed. How does this come? It could just be the energy. It could just literally be, maybe at the point of the full moon, that something is opened for you, released, maybe illuminated for you. But you celebrate here. It's like you're free to rise, you're free to breathe again, you're free to live again. It's a new beginning for you, but it's the letting go or the release or the healing of the toxicity that creates it. So that's kind of the first key element here. So if you're struggling with toxicity, to be fair, if this reading is resonating with you, then that would be the case. If you're not, then it may not be the right reading for you, because there's definitely something of toxicity either from history or currently around you. But something's lingered. You haven't been able to let it go if it's history. Luck is on your side. There's a piece of good luck that comes to you. I have I don't know if you heard that. There was a little noise in the background. And in my room that I am now working in, as I'm still navigating with tables and lighting and all sorts of things, but I have some beautiful walls, some really old walls in here, and they're really crumbly. And every now and then you hear this little sort of shift. It's almost as though, because the walls themselves breathe, because this is such an old building, and I am surrounded I love it. I'm surrounded by the Stone Nation, and the walls literally, they are crumbly, and every now and then it's almost like the stones breathe. They let out a breath, and you get this little, I don't know whether the microphone picked it up, but it's like a little sort of crumble of the walls. Something it's almost like something is shed. They're shedding something, and I just feel that's really relevant to your reading. It's like you shed something, you can breathe out. You know it's over. You know something has ended. Let's see if we can find out how this moment of good luck happens, or the shift occurs. It may just literally be with the energy of the moon. It may just literally be that the timing is right. the planets are aligning, that you move to this point where you move through. It's this breakthrough point. The window opens. Let's see. It may literally just be the energy, but if it is the energy, I suspect it's at the full moon that this occurs. You get that turning point. But let's ask, what comes in? What is the good luck? What's the point of good luck? The moment of good luck? You have the Four of Emotions, so the Four of Cups, which is interesting because it is sometimes like the energy of the Four of Cups is, it feels like we're a bit stuck, like a bit down in the dumps, a bit stuck, a bit sort of like tangled in it, or caught in it, like sitting in the bowl of water and kind of not able to see beyond it. Let me kindly ask, how does this shift? Then you have the Hierophant. I think this is just actually divine timing, to be quite honest with the Hierophant. I think this is guided. I think this is absolutely divine timing. We then have the Ten of Cups as well. It's like you're shifting from the Four of feeling a bit stuck in something, and then something is literally guided. There could be some, if any of you are involved in any legal matters with the Hierophant, anything that is like it's got to run its course or go through a particular process, I think it reaches its conclusion, but really favourably. With the Ten of Cups, we've got a major celebration, and we have the Four of Wands, another celebration. I think you are, that the energy here is coming in, and the best way to harness it for you, the best way to harness it is actually to get still and hold the vision of what you want. Because I think the energy is aligning for you. It's like luck is on your side. Yeah, look at this. We have the Knight of Materials, the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, luck is on your side. It's like if you are needing money or resources or energy, then it comes to you. You then have the Muse of Materials. This is the King of Pentacles. I mean, wow, just look at that. The bridge. This is the rainbow bridge of healing. And look at all the roses here. Something's given to you that enables you to move forwards. For some of you, I think the fundamental energy shifts. But I also think it's like your luck changes, or your luck comes in. And I do. I think there could be part of it, the bulk of it is to do with literally the energy. The energy is working in your favour. But I do think something comes into you, and I do think it's something quite pragmatic and practical. So it could be your health, if you're struggling with health. It could be resources, so it could be money. It could be energy. If you've been exhausted, your energy returns. It could be something moving in your favour, which means that you might get some sort of payout, but you're able to move forwards. You can breathe again. Something arrives just as I almost want to say in the nick of time, actually. That's what's coming through. Just in the nick of time. For some of you, it could be someone helping you out with Descendant. 2 is better than 1. It could be someone who comes in and offers you assistance. Many hands make light work. But the key here, the real key, is for you to hold that higher vision. This is the best way to harness the energy, particularly in the build-up to the full moon. And I think maybe at the breaking point, the turning point of that full moon, that's when I think we see a really big shift for you. A really big shift in the energy. Something lands in your lap. A piece of good fortune or good luck arrives, that's when we see the turn. I think you will experience it in the physicality of your world, in the 3D world. You're going to be celebrating, that's for sure. It releases you from some form of restriction that feels toxic, that has been getting you down. And that could be As I said, the residue of history from past experiences or something you are right still in. But I think it's the turnaround is at the point of the full moon. And my goodness me, you get what you need. It's like result. That's what we're seeing here. Pile 2, keep me posted. Let me know as the month unfolds. I love to hear what's happening in your worlds. Try to keep that positive outlook, because I get the impression that some of you are maybe struggling with this toxicity or the residue of it and feeling like you'll never be free of it. This is something that you've been wanting to break out of for quite some time, and you will be free of it. This is what this is suggesting. It's pretty magnificent. Pile 2, I'm loving your reading and I'm loving your energy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel, for liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you ever so much, all of you who've been buying the moon diaries in all of the different locations. So find the one that's right for you. And I will be creating a webinar. If you are watching this as I upload it, the webinar is not yet live. If you are watching this in a few weeks' time, coming back to it, it may well be live already. Just check out the homepage of the Moon Magic channel. I'll be making announcements about it, but I'll literally put a post up to let you know how to find the webinar, where it is. It won't have any ads in it. That's my plan, is probably not to have it on YouTube actually, but you'll be able to access it or watch it somewhere if it's on the website. I don't know. I haven't worked out the details yet of how I'm going to do this, but it's going to be about teaching you to manifest with the moon, teaching you about the moon cycles, how they work alongside manifestation, all of these really exciting things, so you really can sort of like decode that information and know how to work with the moon, and how to use diaries, because they contain all of the information on a daily basis that you need. That's why we worked very, very hard to develop some software that enabled, it means that we've been able to create diaries with accurate moon timings in different locations in the world, because previously my diary was only relevant ultimately to the UK. You could work it out and the energy is still the same, the incoming energy, but now you get the precise timings for your geographical location, which means if you're somewhere down under, it's really exciting because the time differences are significant. Anyway, beautiful souls, I'm sending you all the love in the world. Keep me posted on this. I would love to know what's happening in your worlds. Tons of love. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. You have the card of psilocybin, the magical mushroom. You also have this figure here holding up, very triumphantly I would add, holding up these weights, the dumbbells. Really interesting, because this is about coming into, this card in its interpretations in the book is about coming into your own, like coming into your own power. Now we are asking how you can harness the energy of expansion that is happening in this moon month. You have your first card, the Trout and Lily of the Valley, purification. Okay. Interesting. What else do we have for you, my beautiful pile 3s? You have Ascendant. Take things at face value. And Sagittarius, shoot for the stars. This is really, really, really mind-blowingly fascinating. Right. Gosh, with Ascendant, which is your rising sign, I just feel you are rising. Shoot for the stars. Dream big. Go for it. This for you is, I think this for you is full-on expansion, pile 3. Absolutely full-on expansion. A time to give rather than to take. New moon in Virgo. Right, there is something that you can, the full-on expansion, my beautiful souls, I think is to do with your service. It's to do with your purpose, your service, why you came here. Something you're doing, something that you are creating, something you're making, your contribution. Even in the psilocybin card here, we have a group of people. It's like community. Putting something out into the world, putting something out into the community. Look at the way the energy is stretching and reaching and expanding. And with Virgo energy, Virgo is very, very hard working. There's a hard working energy. I do feel that with the expansion energy, now I spoke about this in the energy update at the beginning of the video. With the energy, I've said, this is about expansion rather than being goal driven. But I do actually think, pile 3, that for you, this is about going for it, actually. And I think the energy is here to help you to expand. And even if you are going for it in a, reflective way, I kind of, actually what's coming through here is so fascinating. Yeah. So in the energy update, I spoke about the way in which there's a lot of reflective energy, and the way to expand is to harness the reflective energy. I feel with you, this will be about getting still, meditating, but be prepared to take action simultaneously. I think you may be receiving massive downloads and massive signs and signals and synchronicities, doorways opening, the pathway being cleared for you, the planets aligning so that you can rise. The key would be about being present enough to the energy so that you can seize those moments, you can take those opportunities. It's like your energy needs to be pure enough to be able to receive, basically. And I think that's where the reflective element of the energy is coming in. If you can harness that reflective layer of energy, I think you will receive significant downloads that will show you exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it to move things forwards. Because I think you are majorly expanding in this time, really going from strength to strength. Literally shoot for the stars. Shoot for the stars, get still and be open to guidance, and then take action. That's in a niche, in a nutshell. The Chariot, wow. So you've got forward motion energy, and look at you rising whilst looking so present and so connected. And look at this, the energy coming from your solar plexus. This is a month for you to create from the inside out, to open yourself to receive, to listen to that guidance, and then apply it. Yeah, you've got the Magician. This is a month for you to create. Wow. I mean, you couldn't write it, could you? You could not write it. Thank you for these cards. Thank you so much. I just feel so gifted for these to be coming through for you today. You have Inspiration, the Four of Inspiration, which is a card of celebration, but also commitment. Also commitment, literally. And look how they are so centered, this group of people sitting on this rock, which reminds me of the Three-Eye Atlas, sitting on the energy of this consciousness that's coming in, receiving the information. I think you are some of those people for whom the energy of Three-Eye Atlas is actually coming in and downloading very directly to assist you in making a significant contribution. Hence the service, a time to give rather than to take. Really receive the energy, act upon it. And there's the rocker. I feel the Three-Eye Atlas energy is working with you in a very specific way. We have the Knight of Cups here. This beautiful horse riding in, and look at the spiral of energy. This is about going with the flow. Now, you may need to be a little bit adaptable because you may have plans and then you may receive guidance to do something completely different. If you do, trust the guidance. Trust the guidance. We have the Seven of Materials, so the Seven of Pentacles. I mean, look at the garden that you are creating. Look at the abundance that is coming here. You are just you're going to be given guidance and information that helps you to be streamlined in your purpose. We then have the page of emotions. This is the page of cups. Wow. And again, look at the cave in her solar plexus, but it's heart-centered energy. And yet there is this cave of creativity. Of it. I think you can harness your emotions. Your emotional energy is very powerful. Emotional energy, when we're manifesting, if you think about your mind as being if you're driving a car, your mind is the bit that is directing is at the steering wheel, directing the route. But the fuel in the tank is your emotions. It's your passion, your desire. I think you're going to be shown, look at that heart-centered energy. I think you will be shown with great clarity in this moon month exactly a pathway that fulfills your desires, that is to do with your calling and your direction. And I think dream big. Shoot for the stars. Don't be afraid to go for it. I do think it is very much about contribution and service. But I also think you're going to love it. 9 of Voices. Now, this is the 9 of Swords. Look at that energy. The downloads. I think the downloads are even going to come in while you sleep. If you might actually find, if you go back and listen again, should you wish to, I mean, you may not wish to listen to me waffling away all over again, but if you go back and listen to the energy updates again, there's a point where I remember saying it very clearly that you could sort of almost like change your mind or change your perception. You could see something completely differently. I think you literally could go to bed seeing something one way and wake up and see it in a different way. And there is nothing, just follow it through, because this is the upgrade that you are receiving to enable you to follow the path you're meant to be following, and fast. That there'll definitely be actions for you to take. And we have the Ace of Materials, the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, definitely actions for you to take, to follow through. Seeds to sow. Initiating new beginnings, and these new beginnings could be elements of things you're already working on, or they could be elements of something completely brand new. I think this moon month is going to transform your relationship with your calling. I think it's going to be full on, go, 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 and yet simultaneously the go, go, go you may have to be adaptable. You may literally go to bed one night thinking that's what I'm doing tomorrow, and then wake up in the morning with a completely different, a different priority, or a slightly different way of doing it, or a different perception. Just go with that, be flexible, go with that flow, but my goodness me, be open to every single download that you receive. I think it's full on magical downloads, connections to the gods, to the goddesses, to spirit, to source. This is to God, to the universe. I think your connection is wide open, and you literally, for some of you, you'll feel ultimately connected potentially to a particular star constellation even. You are going to be receiving download after download that shows you exactly how to be on track. So and this is what is expanding, the energy is expanding exponentially. And even though I did say in the energy update, this is an expansion rather than a goal-driven orientation, I think for you there will be a lot of movement forwards. But the movement forwards is directed through the downloads. So there may still be some flexibility required within that. Let's see if we can get any further guidance. I think your reading is very clear. So, keeping yourself present and open and flexible, and yet active and proactive. May we kindly ask, please, for any further guidance and information. We have yet another 3 of Swords card. But look at the clarity here. Now the Three of Swords is a card where we kind of, it's very much about healing a broken heart. Look again, I'm not seeing I'm seeing the energy coming down. Seeing the energy coming down to assist you. We then have the Ace of Emotions. So 2 aces coming through here. Then the 9 of Wands, the 9 of Inspiration. If any of you are doing something, or you've been training, for example, or you've been working at something and somehow it hasn't quite, obstacles have been in the way, or there have been disappointments, I think you'll be shown exactly how to overcome them. And if you just haven't known what your calling or direction is, I think but you've been trying things on for size, but haven't found what's right, I think you will find what's right. You'll be able to literally immerse yourself in this. I think your energy is going to feel so, so, so good. And then you have the moon. Wow. And we have a pink moon here. Wow. Or a blood moon. I think it is possible, given that we're asking about a moon month, I think it is possible that when you get the clarity about your direction, or even a confirmation that you're on track. Let me just make sure that is focusing quite well for you. The clarity, the confirmation that you're on track, that you're clear, the focus. I just focused the camera instinctively. The clarity that you need, I think you'll arrive at it by the time you get to the full moon. So at the time of posting these readings, within a couple of weeks, I think what will happen is there'll be lots of signs and synchronicities coming in for you. Lots of direction coming in. And there's a real need to be very present, very available to receive these signs, synchronicities, messages. When the full moon, I think, will be a point of consolidation for you, where somehow you kind of, it's like you know what you need to do next and you know how to do it. Or it's like the point at which it basically all comes together. That's what I think. You're going to get that full moon turning point. It comes together. You kind of know where you are. You're like, right, okay, I'm on track now. Wow. Very, very, very amazing. It's anything else that you wish to show my pile threes, please. We have the card of Strength. Yeah, look at this with the full moon again rising. We have the Four of Emotions. And then the Page of Inspiration. I think the full moon will be the turning point for you, my beautiful pile threes. And the page is such a lovely energy of spark, new passions, excitement, creativity. I think you're going to receive massive downloads, lots and lots and lots of information. And by the time you get the full moon will be that point of illumination, of it coming together. There'll be something that comes in and rubber stamps something for you, and you'll be like, you know, I really, really, it's almost like you couldn't see the woods for the trees for a little while, but suddenly it's like you know you're on track. Suddenly you know where you're going, you know which direction to take, what your priorities are, what steps to take next. And I think that will occur around the breaking point, the turning, the opening up, the illumination of the full moon. So at the time of uploading these readings, it's a couple of weeks. If you're coming to this reading and it's randomly come into your stream, and you know you've come to it in a few months' time or a year's time or whenever the next full moon is, I suspect that will be when this information comes together for you. Whenever we're drawn to a reading, it doesn't matter which moon it's connected to. Whenever we're drawn to a reading, a pick a card reading, there's almost always a message there for us that we need to hear now. And actually the energy is coming in right now to support us. Pile 3, this is your reading. I'm blown away, absolutely blown away. I mean, this is you rising. really, really rising, going from strength to strength. I do think there will be this being present, flexible, around for you for the first couple of weeks. But wow, that's how to harness the energy. It is this sense of being present and open to the guidance that's coming through for you. And the turning point, how fascinating, around the full moon. Tuning in with the 3-eye atlas energy. Wowza wow. Beautiful souls, I am sending you all the love in the world. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to tune in to the 3-eye atlas collective reading, the seminar that I'm going to be doing, the webinar. I think I might have forgotten about that, to mention it in pile 1 and pile 2. And also I will be doing some webinars around manifesting with the moon, proper training videos where you or a training video where you can really discover how the energy of the moon works for you in terms of manifestation. So my beautiful souls, keep an eye out for that, and I'll be putting details of it. I'll probably put it into a post as soon as it's up and running, because I may not host it on YouTube, so that it would mean there's no ads then. I'm just looking at those options at the moment. Beautiful souls, I'm sending you all the love in the world. Thank you for everything that you do in being you. Tons and tons of love, and I look forward to seeing you again for some other readings really soon, and indeed maybe some of the webinars as well. Tons of love, pile 3.